House prices to climb as expanded first home buyer scheme kicks off. You beauty, say the property developers. Yes, the ABC ran this morning on property. First home buyer scheme is coming in. And here they go. Australian home values rose again in September, with experts warning a surge of first home buyers using wafer-thin deposits is set to push prices even higher in the months ahead. They cited Cotality and PropTrack as their sources, and they spoke to a number of people that said the money would feed through to the property lobby, drive prices higher. Yes, more band-aid solutions for the issue of inequity in Australia. Now, it's nice, don't get us wrong, it's nice that first home buyers get a crack at owning their own house. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing if people can get into the market. Of course, everybody already in the market wins, and the people with the most win more. And particularly these people, Lobbyland, the property lobby, all the politicians too. They've got lots of houses, probably all negatively geared. Now, this is the quintessential example of kicking the can down the road, this first home buyers scheme. Just check out this video from the weekend. Somebody put this on X, went to visit a property in Bondi, and there were hundreds of people queuing up to rent the property. Now, of course, if the whole market goes up, rental prices is a rental problem as well. Rental prices are too high. So Bondi, of course, I mean, I don't know why you want to live in Bondi. The surf's terrible. There's a lot of wankers there, but people seem to want to live there, and it's very, very expensive. Now, if you look at the video, though, you will notice one thing, just as an aside. There doesn't appear to be too many immigrants competing with Aussies for that little apartment in Bondi. They don't look like immigrants, do they? Yes, the old mainstream media. Look over there, blame those immigrants while the rich people are ripping you off and the politicians are doing their thing down there in Lobbyland. Now, we've got some answers, of course. Everybody knows what the answers are. Negative gearing, capital gains tax relief, just building more homes. On the supply side, there's plenty of answers. Not allowing people to invest with their SMFSs, their super funds, investors. Now, the government knows all these things. They know what needs to be done. It's blatantly obvious how to address the Ponzi scheme, because the money will feed through into higher prices and property people. Stemming the deluge, of course, of foreign money is a huge one. In Singapore, 60% stamp duty. 60% stamp duty in Singapore. Here, come on in, you rich billionaire from overseas, and buy all the property you want, because we want our prices to go up forever. You can come and own all our property. Now, we're not being xenophobic here. It's simply you've got to take care of Australian citizens first, not foreign investors. Now, they've done something about that. Both parties have agreed at the last election, when they were matching each other's policies, to have a little ban on existing residential property buying by foreign owners for 2 years. Well, not good enough. Do a Singapore, whack a 60% stamp on it, and that will at least bring some money in the door and stop them competing with buyers in Australia. Now, Airbnb tax rort, that is another one we've been on about relentlessly. We've put it before a number of politicians. The numbers are there. You could stick an extra $5 billion on the budget by stopping people claiming tax relief on their holiday homes by having them listed on Airbnb, even in times when they're not let out. So you put the price up so high that nobody wants to rent it, except in peak holiday season perhaps, and then you just use it as a holiday house. Why wouldn't you? That's what they do. You're not meant to, but the rules aren't strict enough. So the remedies are there. Government is also not building enough houses. Simple as that. They used to build much more social housing to help the bottom end of the market, those in most need. They've just stopped doing it years ago. Simple. They've got a scheme now, of course, where they borrow money and get the Future Fund to manage a scheme. They're chucking $10 billion into that. It's slow. It's not on time, but at least they're doing something, but it's not very much. If you have a look, we know what the effect of all these policies, negative gearing, CGT relief, all these things are over 20 years. You can see it almost to the day if you have a look at this chart. House prices soaring, or dwelling unit prices soaring above household disposable income. It's an affordability metric. There's more debt in households these days as well. And the banks love negative gearing, of course, because it just shovels more money out the door. They can flog more credit. So they love negative gearing. They love people being on extremely high LVRs. They'll be paying it off till they're 200. It's all about the tax. You can just make a few tweaks to the tax system to fix all this. But they don't do it. They don't do it because they favour investors at the expense of younger Australians whose taxes will be paying for all these subsidies, whose work for many years will help pay for all these subsidies. And it's undeniable, the property lobby, of course, carries on about, what about the little poor person here that happens to own this house and they're on the bones of their ass and da-da-da. But the fact is, if you just look at the metrics, here's some great work from Harry Chamay. Who gets the benefits of these things? CGT discount, for instance, it's the top 10%. Negative gearing is the top 10%. Top 1% of the top 10% gets even more because they have more money. It's all nose towards the investor, away from the owner. And it misses that basic human right. Well, it might not be a basic human right. Food might be, but maybe having a house, a roof over your head isn't. But in a rich country like Australia, there is undeniably a duty for the government to make sure everybody has a roof over their heads. They're not doing that well enough. We had the other mob in, of course, it'd be even worse. We'd all be out the street, but that's not happening right at the moment. So we're going to hold the Labor government to account. It's years, mostly Liberal Party rule, and most of these things, the CGT discount with John Howard, CGT relief, but constant failures to fix negative gearing and so on. That's a serious reason, and both parties are responsible. If you look at this chart by Harry Chamay, the discount will be captured by the top % of taxpayers, with these individuals also responsible for 43% of revenue foregone due to negative gearing deductions. That goes on the budget, negative gearing, and as interest rates go up, and as they have in recent years, it costs the budget more. Now, the other one, Harry, of course, in his solutions piece, and you should read his entire series, the Housing Hunger Games, aptly named, he says that we should stop self-managed super funds buying residential property because people just use it as an investment tool, not as a retirement tool. Superannuation should be for retirement, to take the pressure off the budget and help people fund their retirements, not pass wealth down to generations by hoarding this wealth, using government subsidies to make more money and then passing it on to their useless children. No, they're not necessarily useless, but you know what I mean. It's just poor policy. It wasn't designed, superannuation, for that. And CGT tax relief, we might just say, what it did a few years ago, probably started 20 years ago, was set off a wave of mansion flipping. If you go to the leafy suburbs, people buying their houses for $20 million and selling them for $40 million 10, 15 years later. What tax do they pay on that $20 million gain? And we're taking extreme examples like Aussie John Simons with his $200 million mansion. You get lonely in that old house. If you make a $100 million profit, let's say Aussie John makes a $100 million profit, how much tax does he pay? Well, if it's his family home, he pays no tax at all. Now, what this does economically is it just makes people with wealth who want to guard their wealth, want to protect it. It just gives them, basically the Ponzi scheme gives them the opportunity just to make huge tax-free profits on quite a useless asset. It's not like investing in a business. There'll be a few upmarket tradies that'll, make money out of putting in infinity pools and gazebos. But really, it's poor economic policy as well. When you can keep flipping your mansions, and some of these billionaires and millionaires have done it a number of times, multi-millionaires flipping their mansions, going from family home to family home, making millions and millions in profit and paying no tax. So the answers are there. There should be more transparency too. We should be able to know who owns these things rather than hide them in trusts and other vehicles, you can't see who actually owns these things. Money laundering's another thing, because the Australian property market has been a haven for money launderers. They say they are doing something about it, and we've done work on this, but are they? I don't know. Are they going to find a way around it? Now, this video is brought to you by Island Optical and Optical Superstores, who become a silver sponsor. We've got to pay for the journalism, and so we're expanding the base. Just one quick annoying advertisement on every video for Island Optical, backed by human rights guy Ian Melrose. It's a new scheme to help sponsor videos to pay for our journalists so that we get the content, so we can make sure that we're delivering the right evidence-based journalism. So have a great day, and I don't think we can even hope that they'll ever do something about this now. In fact, if the property market did collapse, it's quite likely that the government would bail it out, as they did during COVID with the corporations, many who didn't even need the money. There's that much riding on it because the Australian economy, more than any other economy perhaps in the world, is nosed towards property investment. It's not good economic policy. There's a lot of risk in there.